Hi guys, welcome to Brandix Reviews, another edition of the Vinyl Decision. Now, I haven't done a lot of these videos talking about records and stuff, but this one particularly kind of ties in with another topic that I cover on the Brandix Reviews channel, and that is the James Bond franchise. It's probably my biggest thing that I'm into, to be honest. I don't really talk about it right a lot because there's not really a lot of stuff happening at times when there's not a new Bond film out. So this one I'm kind of tying a couple of topics I'm into: vinyl records and James Bond. Awesome. Now, getting into this, there's a hell of a lot of records out there because there's like one soundtrack for every film, and let's remember there's like 24 films now. I lose count. 24 James Bond films in the official MGM United Artists, whatever franchise that's been going since 1962. Now owned by Sony, but the actual number of soundtracks you'd be collecting there would be quite heavy, to be honest, and quite expensive as well. I mean, if you can pick up like any James Bond soundtrack on vinyl for about £15 or £20, that's probably a good deal. Some of them are even more expensive than that, and obviously you've got like collector's editions and stuff, but generally if you're in like HMV or wherever and you're shopping for records, they do have quite a good selection actually of James Bond soundtracks, but again, like I say, it's quite expensive. When you multiply £15-20 by the number of films there are, 24, that's bare minimum. I mean, some of the more recent films, like I know Skyfall, which is the second to last one that came out, the soundtrack to that on vinyl is very expensive. Spectre, the most recent one, I think is about £30 if you get it in shops. So if you're going to get into this, just kind of starting off, it's a very expensive thing. I only own a few, and there's only one I'm really going to talk about here today, and that is this one here. Now, I picked this up in Blackpool. It wasn't too expensive. In fact, I got this for £5, so that's not really a huge amount of money. This is the best compilation album that I've been able to get my hands on, or I've been able to even find by doing a sort of cursory look on the internet, on like eBay and Amazon, that kind of thing. So this is the best vinyl compilation album of James Bond themes that I've been able to find. And I'm going to get into some details now. Like I said, this one isn't particularly valuable as such. I mean, it cost me about £5 in a shop. If you're buying online, they tend to be a bit more expensive. So if you're going to like a record fair or anything, odds are you're going to pick this up. So when did this come out anyway? Well, it came out in 1982. So the most recent film at that time was For Your Eyes Only, and that was the Sheena Easton song of the same name. So it's got all the songs up to there. Now, there is another one very similar to this. It even looks very similar. It's got like a blue cover, and I'm going to show you what that looks like because I've got a picture on my tablet that goes up to Octopussy. That was 1983, so that was probably the year after or shortly, maybe 83, 84. The film came out in 83 anyway, but it doesn't have the Duran Duran song, so let's just say 83, 84. A more recent version of this, but it doesn't have as many songs as this. This has got 20 original tracks, and these are original tracks, which is another factor I'm going to get into. So these are the original themes, but it's also got like a few other kind of bonus ones. So if you're a fan of James Bond music, you'll know what the theme 007 is. It was the 007 theme, not the James Bond theme, but you'll know what I mean anyway. If you're into James Bond music and if you're into the films, it was something that started in From Russia with Love, the music that's playing at the gypsy camp when he gets into that big gunfight. And they kind of use that theme in a lot of subsequent films, but that's on here anyway. So things like that isn't a James Bond theme as such. It's not a title theme, but it's one that's on here. There's a few others as well. Kingston Calypso, Under the Mango Tree, from Dr. No. The rest of them are pretty much the actual themes themselves. Now there's a bit of others. In fact, let's have a look on the back. You can see. I don't know if you want to pause this and you can actually look at the track list specifically. So I'm getting a bit of glare, I can see. But if you can see there, these are all tracks that are on here. So if you're thinking of getting this, at least you'll see from this video what's on there. So it's quite a good record, and I was quite happy to have picked this up. Now let's have a look at the inside art as well, because obviously no vinyl review would be complete without that. There isn't any inside art, I'll be honest, but you can still see what the record looks like, because all these little details are interesting. Now the actual the label on there as well, as you can see, if I can kind of get that without focus too much. No, it's not working. There we go. That's better. So you can see that's on one of the sides, and on the other, flip that over, you can see very similar on the other side there. You can see the label. So that's pretty much it for that record. Now, like I say, if you're going to get, if you just want a generic James Bond themes album on vinyl, you don't want to collect each soundtrack individually, I'd recommend this one. As I say, there is one that came out a year or maybe 2 years later that's got one other James Bond theme. Probably my least favourite, to be honest. All Time High with Rita Coolidge. Probably made a bit more famous recently by the film Ted. If you've seen that film, you'll get the reference. But like I say, it's got one extra theme that this one that I've just shown you doesn't, but it's only got 13 tracks to it. And from what I can see, it's actually quite expensive as well, because I've been on Amazon. It's around about £200 basically, which is slightly higher than the one that I've just shown you. I'm just kind of loading a picture up, so it's loading a video here and the thing's going slow. But anyway, point is, it is the original tracks as well. And what I mean by that is it's the actual songs, because there are some other compilations that are out there that aren't original. And as you can see from this one, it's still going bloody slow, but you can see that's what the actual the thing looks like. So it's very similar to this. Finally it's loaded. So it's very similar to this, very similar artwork. It's blue, and that's the reverse. Like I said, look it up on Amazon, you'll be able to see more specifics. But that's that one. It's very expensive as well. Now there is another one I'm going to warn you about. If you see this one, I wouldn't recommend buying this one. I've seen this many times in many charity shops, many record fairs. I personally wouldn't recommend it because it's not the original themes. You know, I mentioned that before, the original songs that are used in the film. This is somebody's orchestral version of them. So I don't know how good it is. It might be quite good. Then again, it might just be some guy on his keyboard singing along. I don't know. But yeah, like I say, I wouldn't recommend it. Now, don't get me wrong, some covers of James Bond themes over the years have been actually quite good. There's been some good ones and some bad ones. I went to it was the Liverpool Philharmonic Orchestra in 2010, I believe. It was actually my birthday present. An ex-girlfriend of mine took me there for my birthday back in 2010. That was quite good. There's a woman there, and she did a really good job covering the James Bond themes. Point being, you know, if that's the kind of thing you like, it could actually be quite good. But I've not got it. I've never listened to it. I just wouldn't recommend getting it because it's not the original ones. That's just preference. If it doesn't bother you, get it, go nuts. It's not expensive as well. Like I said, I've seen it in many charity shops when I've been record hunting. Now, I'd be interested to know if there are any other compilation albums out there available on vinyl that are maybe better than this. Like I say, this one's my favourite, and it's my favourite that I own. It's also the best one I've ever seen, and it's like I said, £5 is a really good deal. But there might be some more recent ones. If there are, I'd like to know. If you've got any that are better than this, where you got it from, and if it's expensive or not. And like I say, if you want to send some information, post it on the YouTube channel. Now, over the years, I mean, I've been into James Bond pretty much since I was a kid. And I remember back in 1992, this one came out on CD. As far as I'm aware, you can't get this on record. It'd be quite nice if you could, but it had all the themes up to License to Kill, because that was the most recent film by 1992. I seem to remember the art. I used to have this on cassette as well, but I remember the artwork quite well on this. It'd be really nice to own this on vinyl, just to have it kind of immortalised in my collection. There was one that came out in 99, weirdly enough. I say weirdly enough, but the artwork for the one that came out in 99, I actually went to school with that girl there, which is really random. She was a model. And I remember this being advertised back in the late 90s as like a James Bond themes CD. And I was like, I know her, I went to school with her. But yeah, that was just anecdotal stuff there. So it's interesting, all the different compilations that have been out over the years. If you're a fan of James Bond music, because the music is a massive thing when you're into the James Bond films. Not just the themes, but the scores and everything. I personally know them all backwards, which is really sad. But hey, you know, if that's what you're into. Now, singles, James Bond singles, I've got a few of them. I'd like to think that one day I'll have all of the James Bond themes one way or another on vinyl, and I'm slowly getting there. So, like I said, this one goes up to For Your Eyes Only, and it ends there. I don't have All Time High, so that's one that I need for my collection. The next one that I do have, well, I do have For Your Eyes Only on single as well. Don't really need it because it was on that one, but part of the collection, fair enough. Now I got this one. I like this one actually. View to a Kill. I mean, I like the song, but I like the actual record as well. I got this recently. Somebody donated me just boxes and boxes of singles, and 99% of it was junk, but it had a few gems. This was one of them. This is obviously the Duran Duran one, fairly popular song, and James Bond fans might not be so keen on it. I personally really liked it, and a bit of a departure from the usual kind of James Bond themes that they do. Not exactly a power ballad, is it? But let's just take it. You can see the inside sleeve, how it works. It's got that there, so it's really nice. And on the other side, you can see that's the logo as well. Again, I'm thinking probably better putting it there, so you can see what's actually on there. So that's a really nice addition to the collection as well. And like I say, the artwork on these things is always very appealing as well when you're a record collector. I think I've shown you the reverse already, but that was that. So now the next one I've got. I don't have The Living Daylights by a-ha. I've spotted one on eBay actually, and hopefully at some point I'll be able to get one of those. I do have the Pretenders song though, If There Was a Man. Quite like that song actually. I'm not a big fan of the Pretenders or Chrissy Hind. Nothing against them, but I'm just not a big fan basically. They did some additional songs for that film, The Living Daylights. So again, this is one that I got donated with a load that came with as well. So quite a good day when I got those donated. The actual label there, you can see, nothing too exciting. And there's that Into Vienna as well. That's another part of the score by John Barry. So that was The Living Daylights. Anyway, like I said, I don't have the actual theme, The Living Daylights, but if anyone's got it, wants to donate it, fine, send it my way. I'd be very interested. Next one is License to Kill by Timothy Dalton. And in fact, I've got this somewhere. I've got a 12-inch version of this as well. In fact, I'll try to dig that out. This is the single by Gladys Knight, one of my favourite Bond themes. It's just an amazing theme. We used to have this when I was a kid, and I think we sold a load of my records years ago because we needed the money basically when I was moving house. So I rebought this quite recently because I really missed having it. And this has got some of the Michael Kamen score on it as well. Like I say, it's got a track that's called Pam, which is on the sort of general License to Kill soundtrack. But it's also got the chart version of License to Kill. You see a label there, nothing too exciting. Don't know if I've got it upside down, but again, nothing really exciting. In fact, I do have the 12-inch version of this. Let's dig that out. So as you can see, very similar to the smaller 7-inch version. Obviously, size comparison there. The reverse again is very similar. Now this has got the extended version of License to Kill by Gladys Knight. It's just got it's an extended version. It's kind of hard to describe beyond that. I got this for £5. Again, you can't see the bloody label because of the glare. I got this for £5 from a shop called Relics in Leeds, which is a really good record shop. I definitely recommend going there. And again, like I said, the cover is very similar. And the actual record itself, you can see the label. Again, nothing too extravagant. And that's it that I've got for records up till that point. The only one that I've got since then was the Sam Smith song, which I know a lot of people hated. I personally thought it was quite good. I thought it went with the film quite well. But then again, a lot of people didn't like the film either, so there you go. I've done a review of this separately, so I'm not really going to get into this specific one. But that's my collection, guys. What do you think? Have you collected these yourself? Have you got any alternate versions of this? Any information I'd be interested to know. So, like I say, if anyone's got any that they don't want, or if I know a lot of my friends watch these videos, and if any of you guys see any James Bond records, if there's one thing that I can say, guys, if you've seen this, send it my way. That's one thing to keep an eye out because I'm always interested in collecting that kind of thing. As a record collector, you do get sent a lot of junk, to be honest. Some of it you keep, some of it you don't even know what it is. You just kind of get rid of it. But like I say, occasionally you get good stuff. So any James Bond records, send them my way. That's pretty much it. We'll leave it there. And like I say, the channel is Brand X Reviews. I haven't really been doing a lot of videos recently, but hopefully I'm going to do a few more anyway. So if this was of interest to you, let me know. Don't know what I'm going to review next, but we'll see if it's records or if it's James Bond related. There's probably going to be stuff like that in the future. So if this video is a bit of interest to you, subscribe to the channel, and you can follow us on social media. But for now, I want to say thank you very much for watching. Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Just so you know, for more news, reviews and retrospectives, you can like our page on Facebook, simply called Brand X Reviews. But as well as that, you can also subscribe to us on YouTube via this video. You can also bookmark our website, which is brandxreviews.com, which is pretty much a central hub for everything that I've just mentioned. So check that out and we will see you next time. Thank you very much.